Life experiences, especially those associated with difficulties, in most cases turn out to be the greatest teachers. In today's episode, we speak to a young lady who, despite the odds, is turning her dream of bringing positive change in the society into reality.
My name is Stephanie Wanjiru. I have an initiative called Embracing the Community. This is a program that deals with giving hope to the hopeless. It mainly deals with reaching out to the streets. We do a program of how we can bring food to them. Also, we come up with a way how we can take the streets out of the streets. We are taking the street kids out of the streets. Also, this initiative, it deals with reaching out to the orphans. We do the donations, we take whatsoever we have with us. Also, this program, it also deals with renovation of schools. Why do I say renovation of schools? There are so many schools that are in a disadvantaged place. And that's why through my program, partnering with other programs, we come up with a way how we can bring a change to these schools so that these students, at the end of the day, they can have a better place to call a study place. Also, when it comes to my organization, we also reach out to the dire families. These are the families who live probably in the slums or probably those who are IDPs. So we come up with a program, or rather we come up with a way how we organize food, we take to them such that at the end of the month at least they'll be having something to feed themselves.
Her desire to transform the lives of those around her is her greatest inspiration.
I've been born in Kibera and life was so tough. When it comes to food, we didn't have access to food. When it comes to education, I didn't have enough access to education. And being brought up in such an environment, I saw like this is where my calling was, because I can remember very well when I was in school. I had so much people dropping out of school because of school fees, me on them. And that's why my life, I chose to be a blessing to many. My life has been so tough, and that's why I told myself I'll not allow anyone else to go through this when I'm still alive. One of the things that being my driving force at the end of the day is I want to see life transformed. I want to see joy formed. I want to see people reaching out to their destiny, because I realize that there's so many people who have so much capabilities, but at the end of the day, they don't have someone to support them. And that's why my end of the day is I want to see people reaching out to their goals, people to be transformed, people to get help at the end of the day, because when it comes to my projects, I'm doing that. I don't just do a project. My main day of the end is impactation. What will it cause? What will it impact at the end of the day?
Stephanie reaches out to the street kids to feed them and later on enrolls them to rehabilitation centers.
My satisfaction comes in a way when I meet a child at the end of the day. He or he's a great leader. Like for instance, there's some kids have enrolled in a rehabilitation center. It's called Embracing the Streets. This is an initiative that I've been following up on them. So my satisfaction when I see a child being changed from the behavior he was when I got him, it's kind of a great joy. And also the other satisfaction is when I say my country transformed in which way? When I see people doing to change the world, the satisfaction is doing something that it will flow from other generation till eternity.
In addition, she also offers support to children's homes through a feeding program and offering donations.
We are the fulfillment of what our thoughts are made. Your imaginative power is your creative ability. I'm such type of a lady that I've never believed in impossibilities. I am a voice to many. I'm a voice to the hopeless. So one way that I'm confident that I'll eradicate all the street kids from the street is I've come up with a program that first of all, I've taken their forms. I've reached out to Nyayo Center and they're like, what will you do for them? So when it comes to such an initiative, I've realized that despite the fact I'm coming up with a program, Most people, all they want is resources, or rather what they want is money. I've never believed in impossibility, because this is something I've been doing, this is something that I've been reaching to. And these kids, like for instance, I already have 11 children's home that you are going to take the street kids, but it's not enough. These kids, they're like 2,000 plus. So I'll not give up there. I'll pray, I'll reach out to every. If I have to write a letter, I'll do that. If I have to go to reach out to those people, I'll do that. And the other thing I've realized, these children's home, despite the fact you're bringing children to them, they also want to, how will we raise the food for them? So when I take kids to different children's home, I also do a program whereby we will be distributing food every month to the children's home, or rather to the rehabilitations that have taken the kids. So this is something that I'm confident, despite the fact the government has done, that's the government. This is tough, and I have to do it.
Women and girl child empowerment is also something she's pushing for.
What I can say, when it comes to so many ladies, or rather women and teenage mothers, like for instance, so many have undergone depression. Some are being violated, but they don't have the right to speak themselves. And when I stand in as a girl, when I standing in terms of a girl child empowerment, this is where I come to protect the right of a girl child. Where do I mean by a girl child? There are different ways a girl child is being mistreated. He or she can be mistreated in form of sex, such that at the end of the day, he or she maybe can get something to eat. When I stand in form of a girl, and despite the fact I being a girl child, I can say this is a platform where I stand in to be a voice to them. So many are going through tough decisions, and through this girl child empowerment, I can say that so many need someone to stand them on their behalf. And if we all can unite and be a source, be a voice to these ladies, I'm telling you, we can change so many, because so many are undergoing pregnancies not because they want, but they are forced. But when we have such empowerment programs, at least we come up with a way of how they can raise funds at the end of the day, how they can involve in a skill that will be able to promote them, such that they will not involve in such kind of acts to get a living at the end of the day.
A great support system is always key in the success of any good project, something Stephanie attests to.
For such an organization, you can't do alone. You can't be the manager, you can't be the project manager, you can't be the treasurer, you can't be the secretary. So this is a team that you have to come up with such to be organized. When we ourselves, we distribute ourselves in regards to the potentials, or rather abilities that someone has, we will able to achieve the target that we want at the end of the day. Because for instance, we may send people to go to places. At least when each and everyone comes with the feedback at the end of the day, it becomes something impressing. Because why? I've trusted my members that they can do on that. And that's why it's always said, when you have a team, trust them. Don't be a boss, but be a friend to them. Because for such an organization, you don't need to boss people around. Believe in their potentials, believe in their abilities, and when you trust on them, I'm telling you, it becomes a success at the end of the day. And your organization, despite the fact you may not reach all that you wanted to do, but at least the majority of what you are supposed to do, it will come to a fulfillment.
Though challenges are inevitable, it's always good to find solutions.
When it comes to finances, that's one of the strategy. That's one of the challenges that I face, because I'm a person who has so much to do, but finances sometimes can be a challenge when you don't get the funds that you want to do for the project. The other challenges that I face is the people that I reach out to. They want someone who is at the same level with them, such that they can cooperate in whatsoever that you want to do with them. The other challenge that I face is, let me say, my social media platform. Sometimes you may find like you may post something, and people, yes, they want support, but they don't want to go to the place that whatsoever that's like, for instance, if I want to reach out to the street kids, most people don't have like that heart of humanity to them. They'll see like you're going to a dirty place, you're going to reach out to people who maybe they're smelling of that. So also that's also comes to a challenge when I don't have support from a great number, because most people want to reach out to a place where maybe it's a clean environment, while in the real sense, most of the environment that I reach out to, they're usually so dirty, dealing with different kinds of people, the streets, the age, those people who have jiggers. So the other challenge that I'm facing is this coronavirus thing, because most of the people, when you are going to do an outreach to them, people are like, you should not reach out to them because they're diseases. But the question I'll ask is, will I sit down seeing people dying of hunger in the name of there's corona? So you see, there's a challenge whereby people may restrain you from going to a place, not because the owners of the place where I'm going to, they're not allowing me, but they're surrounding around it. They're refusing people to access the place, while in the real sense, those people need so much support. They need help. And the other challenge that I face is road. For instance, we may go to a place, the road is not accessible, there's no network to access the place. So you see, when it comes to such a platform, reaching out to the people I want to get to, it becomes a challenge. Like those ones that I want to reach in Pokot or rather Turkana, they don't have phones, the network is poor. So you see, it becomes a challenge when I want to know how the lifestyle is going on, what they will want to be done.
She shares some of the projects that she's currently working on.
There's a project that will be done in West Pokot. This is whereby we are going to renovate a school called Lotunale Primary School. This is a school that it doesn't have doors, and it's a muddy class. So the project that I want to do there is we are going to, apart from us renovating the school, we'll also take a long desk with us. And apart from us taking desk, we also plan to bring out tents, because these people, they don't have houses. And when it comes also to them calling a home, they don't have. So me and my team with other partners, we are looking on how we can take a tent to them. Also taking a 1-year budget food for them, because these people, despite the fact you'll give them money, all they need is give them a 1-year food budget that they will be able to sustain themselves at the end of the day. Apart from that, I also have a project of taking away all the street kids from the street, because these people, they need someone to listen to them. They need someone to hold them their hands. So the project that I have with all the street kids, that will be on March, we are planning to have a program that is taking sandals to them. That is the footwear. But my main goal behind the project is saying of how we can come up with a way of eradicating them from the street, because these people, they need education. Because most of them, they're like, siste tunataka chakula, siste tunataka masomo. So one way that I want to do is I want to partner with all the rehabilitations, all the children's home. Let them give give me accessibility. We enroll, even though we may not take most of them, we can take majority of them, such that we have no street child on the street. Also, the project that I have ahead of me is we are planning to do a solar drive project in the community of Samburu. This is whereby we are planning to come up with a solar that will be transporting water from the place where they are to the community, because these people, they don't have water. So when you come up with a solar drive project, it will be able to bring water from where the source they are to most of the communities, because most of the people, they have boreholes, but when it comes to the boreholes themselves, it doesn't support the water they want. Also in Kadame till Muthaiga, we are planning to have a pottery project, whereby during this pottery project, it will be able to sustain all the Kadame families that are around there, because despite the fact we'll be taking food to them, today we are taking unga, tomorrow we are taking sugar, we are not doing something. Let's come up with an empowerment program that will be able to sustain them, and that's why we are coming up with an irrigation pottery project, that at the end of the day, they'll be selling their project, they'll be selling the products, then they'll be having something to eat at the end of the day.
Despite her young age, Stephanie has achieved a lot and says nothing is impossible as long as one has the willpower.
There's some people who come up with this initiative for different purposes. There are some who come it as a way of employment, or rather as a way of, let me say, as a way of life result, because most people, they come up with such initiative without a purpose, without a goal. And that's why it's always said, like, you are the reflection of your thoughts. Why are you coming up with such an initiative, but at the end of the day you don't have a goal, you don't have a drive at the end of the day? So when it comes to such people who come up with such initiative, I usually advise them that you may come up, yes, it's good to come up with that, but at the end of the day, what are the lives that you are going to impact? What will people say because you existed in such an organization? What will people say that you brought a change in such organization? So to them who come up with such an organization with a different motive, I will advise you that follow your purpose, or rather know your call. Don't just come up with an organization to please people, or rather to please people that you have won. But at the end of the day, have a goal, have a purpose. And that's why it's usually said, like, the extent of your vision is the boundary of your blessing. When you have a vision at large, you'll impact so much. When you have a vision at large, you'll do so much, not considering the finances if you have or not. But at the end of the day, make someone smile, make someone say, at least because of you, my life was transformed.